I represent the City of Coral Gables, which to most of this audience is an end user that has been able to put all these IoT devices and IoT wireless and wirelines to work to serve our innovation portfolio. Coral Gables is not only known for innovation. Coral Gables is also known for mainly known for its Mediterranean revival style, beautiful edifications, historical sites, parks, home to the Venetian pool. We have a vibrant downtown that offers excellent dining experience and many public events. And we have a state-of-the-art innovation portfolio. The Coral Gables award-winning smart cities ecosystem is well known for delivering excellent services to residents, visitors, and businesses. Our ecosystem is comprised of smart technology solutions and strategies designed to help the city achieve strategic goals, such as improving quality of life, increasing sustainability and resiliency, and promoting workability. The ecosystem's foundation is a sound and solid infrastructure built using best practices to enable the growth of an exponential organization such as the municipality of Coral Gables. This infrastructure is built with information assurance in mind, and it employs least privilege principles and all the best practices required to operate a complex and heavily regulated environment that is home to Category 1 police and fire departments and offers many digital citizen services. And all this is achieved through ongoing technology management and continuous improvement strategies, which we will explore today. And all these continuous improvement strategies that you will hear include parallel efforts to generate efficiencies and promote a state-of-the-art citizen service that run in parallel in a very short period of time. That is possible because our department is run as a business. And as a business, it has a small business units that we call divisions, and this division feature qualified managers that are capable of running small tasks all the way to large initiatives and collaborate with each other to make sure that everything runs smoothly at the same time. Before we embarked on this trip of smart cities and outdoor outside plan, we faced the challenges that many municipalities face. We were a typical IT department that it was accustomed to maintain an enterprise where every system is behind firewalls. We had a small outdoor deployments, but it wasn't quite as large as we had. We had challenges. That couldn't support the growing demanding for high bandwidth. It was costly. Our metropolitan area network was high speed, but it was maintained through the INET, which was free to municipalities for many years. That was great while it was in place, but it was very hard to transition from that free circuits model to a lit circuit model. You have to justify why we needed more money to achieve the same, and there was also strategy. Are we going to use this out of operations, or are we going to build through capital improvement? And at that same time, the city was embarking on the streetscapes and CCTV LPR capital improvement projects, which was great timing for us. We aligned with city management and collaborated with Capital Improvement Projects Division of Public Works to build a corridor that will support these initiatives in downtown. And when you say build corridor, management goes like, oh, that's expensive. Well, that wasn't the case, because what's expensive about building the corridor is that word, building it. But the streets were open. We were remodeling everything, so all we had to fund was the additional cost to lay the infrastructure and build the wire. And so we did, and all the CCTV in downtown was home to a city hall and back to our old police station, which was the headquarters at the time. The other part of the city, the city's API project was automated place license recognition program that was created in a geofence around the city. And this was such a large endeavor that we had a consultant on file. And the consultant recommended many strategies that we use, but one of the recommendations was to build a lot of wireless point-to-point backhaul. And that was going all over the city. And we didn't have encroachment agreements with buildings in place, and there was a lot of construction costs, and every single service point needed to have a last mile built into it, meaning that we had to build another point-to-point last mile down to the pole. So time and cost. So as an IT department, we kept together with the consultant and the management, and we recommended to use an LTE first approach to the geofence, and that diminished the need for construction and reduce a lot of cost. So we were able to build more sites in a more timely manner. It was actually done very rapidly. We did take the consultant's recommendation where needed, so we extended our wireless backhaul to the south, and in that area of the environment, we had all the requirements that we spoke before. We had encroachment agreements, we had tall buildings that had line of sight to each other, and we also had the need to transfer heavy video data, so we needed high speed. And that was done to accomplish public safety initiatives at the south. The Miracle Mile and Giralda corridor were not only built using capital improvement projects. We used a combination of capital improvement funds to build the main corridor. The public Wi-Fi was built using cost savings that we identified inside our budgets by creating efficiencies. And that included connecting facilities like City Hall, 2 parking garages in the downtown area, historical buildings, and coming into the public safety building. We also proposed expanding this corridor into the new headquarters that was already in the plans. Hey, like I said, all this is new. It's a big change for a department that is used to maintain an enterprise. So a risk assessment was necessary. And we had to sit back and create a governance steering committee inside the department and say, how are we going to do this? How are we going to securely adopt this new strategy without compromising our core, which is the enterprise, police, fire, general government, citizen services. And the outcome of that, of those many meetings on strategy designs was like, okay, we already have a very complicated and layered environment. We host patient records, personal identified information. We protect criminal history record information. We have systems that host, diffuse, and transmit criminal justice information data, payment card data. And everything is already built using principle of least privilege. And our IT department already ensures the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of all this. So let's use this and apply it to the outside plan. And so we did, and the outside plan was built with an isolated layer 1 where possible, and we were lucky that we had implemented this corridor, because that means we're on the wire. So we were able to isolate all the way down to the wire. Single strand of fiber dedicated to the census and the public network, back-ended to headquarters, deploy an internet gateway for that, protect that internet gateway, dedicate an internet circuit just for that. Don't impact the enterprise and keep it away. Sometimes that is not possible, but it's always possible to isolate a layer 2. So that means that whether we did the wire or not, at the proper insertion points on the network, at the routing, transport, and security side, there were proper ACLs, VLAN, and micro-segmentations were available or were applicable to properly segregate this traffic. And the plan was very clear. We had to bring out the same strategy that we had for the enterprise. Smart policing, very at the core, well protected. And nothing talks to it. It talks to everything else, meaning in the smart policing layer we have sensors, CCTV cameras, APR, shot spotters, and anything related to public safety. That may have to speak to the systems on the political, on the municipal management layer that's in front of it, meaning facilities that host HVAC management system, that host headquarters to SCADA, and many other systems, but those systems don't need to talk back. There's no reason why those systems need to feed and need to talk to anything that's monitoring their production. And same moving on, that the first layer of the environment is economic development and citizen engagement layer. That is the presentation layer per se, and it's where the hubs live, where all the data is turned into reports, into actionable information that business owners, visitors, and municipal managers can use to make informed decisions. This is how the ecosystems first looked. And at this point, we have completed the streetscape project, and economic development unleashed a great and wide portfolio of events that attracted multitudes to the city that we never had before. Coral Gables was a city that would quiet down shortly after 6, 7 p.m. Not anymore. We have restaurants open and a vibrant downtown full of visitors until the late hours of the night. And that increased the need for deploying sensors, providing data to departments so they can plan the next events. With that being said, economic development loved our reports. We were able to provide data telling them how many people came to the last event, how many people entered to which business, because our digital sensors are back-ended to video back-end that has artificial intelligence and can tell you, create heat maps of who's going in what direction on that boulevard, because we have a full coverage with cameras. Parking garages in the area were, before our large deployment, were not served with very powerful circuits. So their parking revenue models have very low resolution cameras. Now they took advantage of the speed and asked us to increase that resolution. So we deploy state-of-the-art optic sensors at their levels as well. Traffic engineers, they started using our artificial intelligence and analytics modules for their traffic studies, to calm traffic, to improve traffic flow, to create traffic circles in some areas of the city. And all this demanded for additional expansion. So the intelligent connected infrastructure was born, or what we call the City of Coral Gables ICI. And the ICI, it's comprised of IoT systems, edge computing, street light controllers, AI, cloud aggregation platforms that connect to all this and shoot it to the presentation layer. And when I said it shoot it to the presentation layer, it sends it in the form of actionable data that is used by police commanders, fire commanders, emergency managers, municipal managers, business owners, and visitors or residents that want to engage with the city and see where the all dollars are being spent. We have transparency portals, police to citizen portals, all kinds of digital services that are a result of all this deployment. So like I mentioned before, we were already planning moving to new headquarters. And you can see here that we have many deficiencies at our old facility. Several deficiencies, starting at the back end. We have poorly cooled and powered data centers. The wiring was old. The need for expansion was there, so there's either we're going to have to spend hard dollars to bring that up. It wasn't going to meet the demands of the new world. The same at the EOC. You can see an emergency management meeting here, an EOC that had the technology to support the meeting, but it could use more. The emergency managers needed more. So our IT department, aligned with the plan of building the public safety headquarters building, with management, and again, with the division of public works that we call capital improvement projects, to join the effort of the budgeting with our cost savings, with our well-managed life cycle management of equipment, meaning that we were going to fund all the back end, and whatever was attached to the construction, it was going to be funded by the capital improvement project. Another effort that took place at the same time was the E911 PSAP. We were able to secure a grant to the State 911 Board to upgrade our aging PSAP to a next-gen 911 PSAP that was going to offer better services to our residents. So the plan was to build smart technology into the building, to bring state-of-the-art cyber and physical security, bring the multi-gigabit fiber corridor that was already on the works to that building, build redundant risers to be able to diffuse all this data, and then at the core put hyperconverged systems that were able to host all the power that it was needed to diffuse this on a timely manner and feed it to the cloud. All this was it was intended to support the exponential growth of the ICI, and like I said, business units. So there was separate business units that my CIO was leading to implement service digitalization, to improve citizen and resident services. And that's what we call the zero legacy approach, or also known as the horizontal integration. That meant that all enterprise systems needed to be upgraded. That meant that every upgrade had to be properly planned, so the relevant data produced by each enterprise operating system could feed the other one, so municipal managers could generate better services to our residents. The outcome of all this plan: Police and Fire Headquarters opened its doors in 2020, and that means that we never stopped building. And our IT department managed the provision of technology from the planning to commission. And I'm using this building as an example, but that is the standard at Coral Gables. Coral Gables IT is embedded on every capital improvement project where there is a technology piece, and we budget to the project, we manage the contractors, and we gather customer requirements to make sure that the building is properly outfitted to meet whatever needs that the departments have. So state-of-the-art E911 piece up in place, state-of-the-art EOC, now with the proper technology to host proper emergency meetings. We included a brand new CISO, Crime Intelligence Center. This Crime Intelligence Center was fully capable of hosting all the data that was coming from thousands of cameras, outdoors and indoors throughout the city. It also featured a state-of-the-art video analytics software that it was used more one time to support events and effectively resolve problems in a timely manner. It was contiguous, right in the middle between the EOC and the 911 PSAP. And that is key. And it's key because there is an integration between 911 and CIC. If there is a working call for service where there is a camera, the CIC pops up the call and opens the camera. That information is then passed to the officers on the field, and that promotes officer safety, and it improves their response capabilities and their chances of resolving that case or that call, addressing that call even better. The CIC also serves as a source. And when I say a source, some cases require more eyes than others. They're very high level, depending on the need. And that CIC can put the image from the center TV into the police chief office or the fire chief's office or the JIG room in the EOC, depending on the need on the case that we're working on. No more faulty data centers. We build state-of-the-art data centers, dual home, dual for fiber and power and equipment. Proper cooling, proper power, dual ACs. We struggled with bad ACs for a very long time. That was a blessing for us. Big step. Like I said, the ICI and all this enterprise data that was being hyper-converged created the demand for expansion. There was a huge demand for expansion. The end user, once the end user is accustomed to those reports, they have all the problem areas on the city. And they're like, hey, can you address this area? I need to improve traffic on the south. I need to improve traffic on the west. You're only giving it to me downtown. So we listened. We added 25 new segments to the fiber corridor that included resiliency, redundancy, and security, and also address several facilities that were underserved. And that is key for us, because we don't just build fiber for smart cities. We build fiber that is used for multiple purposes. We serve all the city facilities in the vicinity and do use it for mutual aid as well. So 2 parking garages again, the historical building, the adult activity center, and the youth center. And that was big for us because the youth center was very problematic. That was on a list circuit, and I had another list circuit backup that was on the INET. And this facility is where all the children programs are hosted. So it's very, very heavy on audio and video. Bringing all that to headquarters over slow WAN links is problematic. Slow WAN links that are going through a carrier are not always compliant with everything that we need. We're a heavily regulated agency. So that dark fiber made big difference for us. We were able to achieve a ring configuration at 3 key locations throughout the corridor. And that was another big step, because when you operate an outdoors outside fiber network, there's always nuisance. The fiber gets caught because it could be because the blockades didn't mark it properly, or it rained and I got erased, or it wasn't well interpreted by the contractor out there. And when you know, you have 3 sites down. However, when you have convergence, you only the site that is next to the cut gets affected. Everything else reconverges to the parallel path and reaches score and is able to serve what it's supposed to do. 10 new smart cities and IoT service points are going to be hosted on these segments of the corridor. And these service points are going to offer many different smart features. Depending on the area, depending on the need, it may be heavily on public safety, heavily on general government, or heavily in eco-sensors. It's future ready, and future ready because we put boxes at key locations throughout the city. We know that we need to be able to span, and we need to be able to span quickly. So once the boxes are there and the file is coiled, all we have to do is build the last mile and light whatever it needs to be light. Construction time and cost is reduced tremendously. The wireless point-to-point backhaul, it was lacking already. There was too much. We were bringing all the ice from the south and the southwest through the wireless back to the main hub and then fiber to headquarters. So we had to revamp it again and increase capacity by 2x as much. Hyperphysical systems in the downtown area were already aging. So through our, again, life cycle management program, we were able to fund these things when they're coming to their lifespan. Basically, our ITAM strategy, or IT access management strategy, has a dollar amount already attached to the lifespan of equipment. We calculate the lifespan of every equipment that we own, and software as well. It may be, what may be 7 years for a switch, it's 10 years for an emergency caller, or 10 years for software. But everything amortizes throughout the lifespan, and when it's time to change it, we're able to change it and maintain exceptional services. The police command post, that was an effort between the police department and the IT department. And the police department planned this and fund this project, and they included us at the very beginning to design this with them and to make sure it was outfitted with the proper technology to conduct emergency operations. That means that we did a 4-way backhaul capabilities. We outfitted with a switch that we could take fiber in, Ethernet in, depending on where they were deployed, they could use it. We put cellular rapid deployment kits, and we also put a Tesla satellite on it. Starlink made a big difference. That's a high-speed satellite. For us that have been doing telecom for a very long time, we know that satellites are low bandwidth and big cost. Not with Starlink. It's a regular circuit, high bandwidth, affordable cost. That was great because we are driving computer-aided dispatch at the edge when we deploy this truck. And recently we acquired capabilities of mobile 911, meaning that this truck is going to be able to serve call for services on the field as a fully featured 911 PSAP. Cybersecurity built into the truck from the get-go. Everything is protected by the rules and regulations set forth by the FDLE, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, because we do process criminal justice information system depending on the call for service. There may be a high-level call for service. This truck has been put to the test by the powers of nature. We supported, on 2 occasions, we supported municipalities that were impacted in the west coast of Florida by natural events. And our truck was key to host emergency operations and serve as a headquarters of mutual aid, multi-effort, multi-agency effort in 2 different occasions. You can see there the truck deploy, and on the other slide is members of the police department and a member of the IT department, and that is key. That truck does not deploy without IT. Our team is part of the deployment no matter if they're going to a support event or if they're going 10 days to the West Coast. We send fully trained individuals that are capable of aiding police and fire to offer the services that intended in that particular case. Service points. This is a big deal. The service point is the heart of the ICI. It's the heart of the outside plan. Now, service points, most of the times, Add-on assistants, we don't have them. That's an electrical panel. That means that we are co-locating with public works. We're co-locating with public service. This is already crowded. That's what they do their power. That's what their rainbirds are. That's what all the outdoor systems are. So if we get 2 feet, we're lucky. We don't get too much. And on the other hand, they are not pretty. We have to hide them. We have to paint them well, keeping out of the eye of the public because they are in the middle of the boulevards. And in some cases, we are able to disguise the hotspots that you see on the top right corner. We were able to paint it, but if you see this piece of equipment that is shiny white on the bottom, there's warranty issues. You can't paint it. If you paint it, you lose warranty. That thing runs all the light, the smart lighting controls throughout the boulevard. So you can't risk calling for support, and when they come out, they don't want to fix it because your warranty is all of a sudden void. So we worked really hard to modernize these service points. They are an eyesore. And our city, it's called the City Beautiful, and we are part of the plan. So after a lot of research and work, the Ekin pole was first tested, and today it sits at the epicenter of our ICI. This is a self-contained modular unit that is open-friendly and very aesthetically pleasing. There are no parts here. It's a pole. It's power-coded, it's customizable, it's beautiful. It's actually nice to look at, and that's a very hard say when you're talking about IT, putting antennas out in the field. And it's customizable, meaning that we may have 10 different deployments of the same pole throughout the city, because some areas are heavier on public safety, and some areas are heavy on general government, and some areas may be heavy on environmental. So you can find a full-featured deployment of this throughout our city that may have a full or limited deployment of CCTV, AOPR, environmental sensors, traffic sensors, speed sensors, public Wi-Fi, and some other features that they continue adding modules. The other thing, maintenance. These things are out there. They hit 100 degrees. So when something breaks and you have it on a pole, you either have to climb the pole or you have to bring down the pole. That's a big deal. You have to close a lane on the road. You have to rent a bucket truck. This thing is modular. The base stays in place. Never have to take it out. You see my guys over here with a ladder, and all you have to do is climb that ladder, remove the module that's broken, replace it, put the pole back on business. So back to service time frame is also shortened out. We went above and beyond to further customize these poles to provide a beautiful approach to our outdoors deployment to comply with the city's requirements. The Mediterranean Revival City, it has a lot of requirements. When you go to the Board of Architects, it's ugly. It's not ugly, but still not good enough. So we worked with Ekin and Pininfarina to further customize these poles so they could meet these requirements. And you can see here the three designs that we come up with, and the middle one is already being deployed at the business center, the central business district, excuse me. This one is going to use at the historical sites, and this is going to be used on the other sides of the city. Well, we've been talking about infrastructure and services and all that for a while. So what did it come out of it? What do the citizens get? Well, what does the public get? So what they get is the Coral Gables Smart City program. Our Smart City environment has won over 30 awards in less than a decade. And that is because we have been able to enhance public safety. We have been able to partner with these departments for them to provide exceptional services. And that was by the means of deploying E911 next-gen systems, working with fire to put telemedicine in fire trucks that helped us improve the response times. And that goes into the next aspect, which is a hard number. We were able to reduce crime and accidents by 40%. And we're like, where is this guy coming from with this number? Well, we regularly meet with public safety twice a month, and reports produce this data. They were able to enhance their strategies with smart technology to do better and faster. And that fits us right on into digitalized citizen services, general government. So digitalized citizen services like what we were talking before, this horizontal integration strategy that began 3-4 years ago already came to fruition. We can say today that we have zero legacy. There is no legacy in the City of Coral Gables. All the applications are state-of-the-art applications that are horizontally integrated and properly sanitized so they can securely feed each other with actionable data that is needed to provide as excellent citizen services like e-permitting, state-of-the-art 911, the Coral Gables Citizen Services, which is our Smart 311. We have a mobile app, ridership applications. We have security on the trolleys. You can see a lot of people after COVID don't like crowd environments. So you don't just get to see where the trolley is. You know how many people are on the trolley. So if you know there is 20 on this one and 10 on the other one, you may wait. It's only a 2-minute wait. And all this produces economic indicators for us to be able to assert that we help to improve economic development through the city. That concludes my presentation. I want to thank you for your attention and for your time. If you would like to know more, please visit us at coralgables.com/smart city, or you can just scan that QR code. And that's all for me. Thank you very much.